Alright, back at it. Gonna start with the old 48-degree pitch and wedge. Clean, no ball marks. It's chilly. Tracked a bunch of snow in here. It's definitely in the 20s, below 30 outdoors. Same temperature in here as outside. You're just blocked from the wind, which is nice. Alright, let's see how the swing feels. Nice and easy. Yeah. Just felt a little chunky. On the mat, you get away with it. You can see where it was. Maybe ever so slightly favoring the heel, just a little heavy. The balls do come off the club face a lot higher on a mat than off the ground, but it just feels a little heavy. Alright, won't hit this one heavy. One of my favorite swing thoughts ever that was much better. Just below that one. It's hard to see, I know. Just below that one, flush. But what I was saying is one of my favorite swing thoughts ever. I know I've used this to win. I specifically remember using this swing thought both in high school when winning state championships, and then again winning a club championship by 4 shots. And that was playing for bogey on the last hole because I had a 6-shot lead. I was just playing smart for the win. But anyway, the thought is, instead of focusing, my eyes are still on the golf ball, but my focus isn't so much on the golf ball as where I want my divot to be. So basically for a normal shot, I'm almost imagining a dollar bill, size divot or something like that, basically 1 inch, 2 inches in front of the golf ball. So for a straight shot, straight divot, I'm hitting a draw, that divot's out to the right, hitting a cut, divot's out to the left. And especially if I'm tending to catch a little fat, I always resort back to just that swing thought. That wasn't very good. I picked it clean a little too much. These are seriously my first swings. I'm just warming up, and I got quick. I was talking about in my other video. Get quick, you're probably going to hit it thin, or at least not hit it very good. Slow down, get down through the ball. Like that. Much better. You can see the one before that I sculled off the bottom. Here, I'm going to clean these. But that's a great swing thought. But just, like I said, just imagining where that divot's going to start, right in front of the golf ball. Boom. Just let it flow. And I'm always talking about rhythm. It's so important. You don't want to get quick. What every great player said when they wanted to hit it further, they slowed down. Because when you slow down, you end up getting a little bit, bigger turn, bigger backswing. You want to, get a nice big coil, get everything wound up. Give it that brief second to change directions, let gravity and momentum start to build before they unleash on the golf ball. The mistake so many amateurs make, I've said this a million times, but even someone like myself who's known this for basically my whole life, has practiced not doing this my entire life, I still get quick at times, like I just did when I hit that one thin not long ago. But basically, it's kind of rushed the downswing. I didn't give it that brief second. It almost won't even be something that's noticeable to the naked eye on camera, but you feel it when it happens. It's just a little quicker timing issue. Oh, that felt so nice right there. Might have been a hair Healy, but I mean, that was flushed. Flush. Let's see, it's a 7-iron now. Ball marching yesterday. I was showing someone this drill. One of the simplest drills, especially if this works for both slicers and hookers. You just need to do the mirror image. So say this is the ball I want to hit, right? You essentially go about an iron width in front of the ball and about 2 golf balls inside. Maybe a little further. I have short irons. We'll say about 6 inches. Here, let me bring the camera up here. So if I'm going to hit this ball here, I'm going to go about 6 inches forward and about 2 golf ball widths to the left. Just like that. I think you can see that. But what that's going to force you to do is, why people slice it is, for one, most slicers, they open everything up because their ball goes right, but opening everything up like this is just going to make your swing path further left. And that swing path going to the left is why you slice. And that's exactly why this golf ball's here. Because if I were to come over the top and swing to the left, I would hit this second golf ball. But if I close everything just a hair, it doesn't have to be closed, you can do this square. But if you're slicing it, I would suggest closing everything just a little bit and really get that swing path moving out to the right. Just let that club face square, and you've probably heard this a million times, shake hands with the target, your target line. So if I'm aiming out to the right for a draw, I'm kind of shaking hands with where the ball starts. I like to think about it more as in I'm throwing the club head down the target line, but it's just set up square. I won't even set up open, or closed rather. Set up square. And that would have been a nice high draw, because I really felt myself come from the inside. Because as we know, the new laws of ball flight tell us, essentially the ball is going to start wherever the club face is pointing at impact. So for a draw to go near the hole, say you want to hit a 5-yard draw. Essentially, your club face needs to be pointed 5 yards right of the target at impact. If you want to ball the draw to the target, and it's going to draw 5 yards, your face needs to be aimed 5 yards to the right for a right-handed golfer at impact. And then your swing path essentially has to be 10 yards right. It's kind of a halfway point. So club face 5 yards right, swing path 10 yards right, and the ball will start 5 yards right and draw right back to the hole. I mean, it's not exact. Loft has some things to do with it. Your strike has some things to do with it. The spin has some things to do with it. It's not a perfect 100% directional like your swing path. Although your club face direction has a lot more to do with where your ball starts out, your swing path does have a little bit more effect, and again, depending on the loft of the club, those percentages go up and down. So it's not exactly 100, but just for ease of using it on the course, your ball basically starts where your face is aimed, and the club face dictates the shape. So just the opposite, if you draw the ball, 6 inches forward, 2 inches right, just a little bump here. So I'm going to have it here. That way, because if you hook the ball, you're probably swinging a lot more out to right field, out to first base. So you need to feel like you're swinging more left, and kind of holding on to that face just a little bit. You always want to exaggerate the opposite. Now, if you're hitting big hooks and you can't stop, this drill will teach you how to hit cuts. Just like that. It's a perfect high cut. same exact spot was the strike. And it costs you nothing, it's free. That is one of the best drills. And if you want to get more elaborate with it, you can. Like say you're a slicer, right? And I'm going to hit this golf ball right here. 6 inches forward, roughly. 2 golf balls width to the side. All right, now I can't come over the top from there. But if you want to get even more visual and elaborate, you could basically do a mirror image where it's, 5 or 6 inches back and 2 golf ball widths that way. So you're hitting this middle ball. You see how it kind of creates this path for you? You only really need the 1 ball, but you see how it creates that path where, even though I'm set up straight, I need to come from the inside and get that path moving this way. And just the opposite, if I were to do this, it's going to get that swing path moving left so I can fade the ball or not hook it. You kind of learn the exaggerated, because once you do this, you're probably going to hit some big cuts. So you just want to retain that feel in order to not hook it. And if you were slicing it and you do it the other way, you're probably going to start hitting some big hooks. But you just retain that feel, and you learn the happy mediums, and soon you just hit whatever shot you want. Because honestly, especially when I'm well practiced, sure, I'll have a shot that I kind of lean on. Normally it's a little bit of a draw, but it's been a fade also with my irons. But really it's just, you kind of end up getting to a point where I'm just kind of hitting whatever shot seems to fit the occasion. If the pin's on the right and everything on the right or right of the pin is danger, and I want to stay left of the pin, I'm probably going to cut it in, because the way I practice is my fades are always going to miss left. So the pin's right, so I'm going to start it at the middle of the green and fade it to the pin. But if it stays straight, I'm in the middle of the green. I never want my fades to miss right of the target, even though they're peeling right. I want them to start left and always end up, at the target at the furthest right, if not miss left. That way I can plan on my good shot being on target and the miss of that shot being on the safe side, and vice versa for my draws. I want my draws to always miss on the right. I want it to, if it draws perfectly, it'll end up at the target, but I train myself to miss a little right. So basically it stays straight, so I can aim at the center of the green and draw it to a left pin, but if it stays straight, I'm in the middle. That's just an obvious example, but it works like that with, water hazards and everything. Like, if there's water, it depends on the tee for me also, because with a driver, I tend to stick to more of a cut. But especially when we're talking about irons, I've always been a big fan of shaping the ball. None of these videos are planned, so I'm just kind of going off on a tangent right now. But golf is all about knowledge, is really understanding your game, understanding the laws of ball flight, understanding the biomechanics of swing dynamics, and just like how they relate to the new laws of ball flight, understanding your own game, understanding every lie you're going to come across, whether it's a tight lie on some hard pan, buried in a rough a particular way, sitting in some sand. If it's a bent grass, bluegrass, Bermuda, what kind of grass is it? Where's the grain going? How thick is it? Is it wet? Is it dry? Humid? What is the elevation? You probably don't mess around too much with different elevations, because you're going to essentially be playing a lot of similar elevations, I would assume. But all little factors that come into play. And the thing about golf is it's a game of opposites in a lot of ways. That wasn't so bad. Might have been favoring the heel side ever so slightly. Normally I'm a little bit more of a favoring the toe side hitter, but oh yeah, 2 iron. Made the mistake of trying to bend this on a 25-degree day. Tried to bend it 2 degrees upright and snap the fucker. I should have heated it up. But what was I gonna say? Talking about golf, obviously, but it'll come to me. Oh, instincts in golf. Golf is a game of opposites. So as we were just talking about, everyone who plays or has been playing for, hopefully everyone learned this basically the first week on the course, the new laws of ball flight. You understand that you swing left, ball goes right. Swing out to the right, ball goes left, essentially, with the swing path. But most beginners that I see, they're either going to have a big hook or a big slice. Usually it's a big slice. But what does our instinct as a human tell us? Ball go right, so I'll swing left. Oh, my ball keeps going right, so I better aim over this way and try to get it left. I better try to get it left. And that's why so many slicers never fix their slice, is because they never gain the knowledge of how to fix their slice. So golf is all about forgetting your natural instinct. I think that's kind of implied in the word instinct, that it's natural, but you almost need to build and develop your own golf instinct. Like at this point, I've been doing it for many decades where I don't have to think about a lot of these factors like a lie. I just see it, and from so much experience, I know I'm gonna want to hold on a little tighter through this lie so the hosel doesn't get caught up as much and slam my club face closed and hood it on me. So that's not even something I really think about, but it's something I do. Or if I'm hitting a lot of shots that seem to be fading right on me, instinctively, without even it's not really a conscious thought, if I'm missing right, I'm probably gonna aim even further right. And almost, because obviously where you aim, if I'm aiming straight, I have a certain swing path. If I just keep this same swing and aim everything out to the right, that swing path is now out to the right. So if I just keep that same swing path and close my club face just a hair, if I'm swinging straight and I'm hitting too much of a fade, I might just close this a little bit just to get through the round. That was what I would do when I was younger. That was my Band-Aid at mid-round to fix, it goes both ways, fades or draws. But now what I'm more apt to do is, instead of closing my stance, because it's going right. It's going right. All right, so I know my ball. Again, I know that it's because my club path is a little too far left that the ball is going right. So I just kind of make a little tweak to my swing path. And how I personally do it is, if this is my normal backswing right to here, if I want to really draw the ball or I feel I'm slicing it and need to turn the ball over more to straighten it out, I just feel like I swing back more to the inside here. Like if I was going to play a big snap hook, I'd close my stance, yes, but I feel like I swing, it's subtle, the feel is like I'm swinging way back here, and then to play a big slice, the feel is like I'm swinging up here, but really the difference will be like normal, big hook, fade, normal, it's a lot smaller spectrum than the feel, but I feel like I swing a little bit more inside and keep it inside there. I've never been a big fan of the drop move where you really keep your hands out and drop to the inside. Do I practice that move? Because instinctively my swing is a little, naturally I always had a halfway decent swing, but my natural swing is a little more inside off the ball and over the top onto the swing plane. So it's kind of like that. And that would always bug me as a kid. I wanted an absolutely perfect swing. Not that I hit the ball bad, I was shaping the ball, shooting under par when I was 13, but still just a look of my swing, the fact that I came slightly over the top, even though tons of great players came over the top onto plane a little bit, I always wanted that, that nice, Sergio laydown or Tiger at least. Really what I always wanted was very, very Tiger Woods or Adam Scott. they're not really over the top. They don't really drop inside. They're just kind of on that one plane, that nice one plane swing. That's what I've been after. But in order to change from more of an inside to slightly over the top, I couldn't just practice one plane. I had to practice that very Ricky Fowler or Jim Furyk feel where I kept the club more outside and let it drop. And over time, I mean, it still creeps in there, but over time my swing went from, a little inside to over the top on the plane to basically just on the same plane. But it took that exaggerating. I meant to bring this little inflatable ball. I have this ball from the Travelers Championship. It's actually this, anyway, it's like an inflatable, it looks like a golf ball, but it's this big. And I wanted to show you a drill you can do with really any ball. You could use like a stuffed animal or something about this size. I don't think I have anything like that. I'm sure I could find something. But here, I'll use this thing. But there's a new training aid. It's a ball on a lanyard. The lanyard is great because it's not going to fall on the ground, but you can do this with any, like a mini basketball, maybe deflate it a little bit or something. But essentially, you just hold something in between your forearms here, and you keep it, this is a little awkward, it's better with a ball, you keep it pinched throughout the swing. That just wants to slide out because it's tapered. And what that does is, you see how my forearms at the top are nice and together? Well, if I were to, kind of overswing, if I'm coming back, that's what a lot of people do is they end up, see how it gets wider at the top there? If I kind of just let everything go and collapse, then it might come back. Well, it'll keep you nice and together. And also just feeling like you kind of keep your armpit nice and pinched. You can do the glove drill. I don't think the glove drill is necessary because you can feel your armpit. It's just kind of like, feel it connected. My armpit's pinched. If there was a glove in there, it would stay. And I know I want a tiny bit of separation at the top, then it reconnects right here. Connected, connected, separated, connected again. Just that little bit of separation and then it connect again. But you don't want to get a lot of that separation and overswing. I've talked about this quite a bit, but the golf swing is really just this with the arms. I'm really only doing this and then turning my shoulders, and that's the top swing, or the top of the back swing. But if I do this with my arms and then turn my shoulders, you see how far back I am? It's because instead of just doing the L to L, I was doing the whole arm swing. See, I'm not moving my chest right now. So if you don't move your chest, it's just this L to L. That turn. But yeah, if you can, I'm trying to think if I have anything in here. Ball. Oh, this might work. Might be a little small. Let's see. The ball's nice because it has a little groove. And the ball I have, it just, this is really slippery. No, this isn't going to work. It's very, very slippery. But you get the gist of it. If you were to put, they make a training aid. It's just a little fuzzy ball on a necklace. But if you have like one of those mini basketballs, would be perfect. Maybe just deflate it halfway and keep it right between your arms. Or just the glove drill, the towel drill of putting it in both arms might be good. If you do, okay. I don't know if this towel is long enough. But if you kind of take a towel, put it in both arms. It's not perfect, but it gets you in a pretty good spot if you can not drop that. In your real swing, you might want to get just a fraction higher than that where the towel would drop. But the issue with so many people, it isn't that they just get a fraction over it, it's that they go, or they might even be flatter, and kind of get that separation. Being flat's not bad. I'd rather have my backswing come back and be here than be like up like here. Because from here, I find it so hard you have to like do a loop with the club. I know teachers have taught that for years, where you bring it up and you drop it inside. I've always found swinging like that very difficult. It just, I don't know, it just never felt consistent to me. And I hit that halfway decent, but compared to just, I don't know why if there's a perfect plane right here, which, depending on the club length, right at the ball, pane of glass or whatever, why am I not just staying on that plane? That always just made so much more sense, Boom, I'm on the plane. And basically just boom, plane. Why are we coming over the plane to drop into the plane? Why not just one plane? And again, it's not a single plane. This is single plane, like Mo Norman. When you start like this, a single plane swing can be a two plane. A single plane swing can be a one plane swing. But a one plane and a single plane swing are different. Save the not range ball for last. What else? What other drills we got? I wanted to talk about some good drills. Cut it thin. It would have worked. Oh, man, my phone dies so damn quick. Shut up. Caught that thin. It would have worked. It wasn't, a straight up skull, but let's get down through this one. Down through it. Nope. Same thing. Just thin. Picked it clean. I mean, I have a high, I set the bar high for myself, so I have a high standard, So a lot of times I'm like, oh, I schooled it. Or thin when it's just ever so slightly. And I would have got a little extra spin. I don't think it would have launched really any lower. But I'm cleaning it so I can see, get some new balls. I just don't like mis-hitting golf shots. I love the feeling of hitting a flush golf shot, but I hate mis-hitting them. Let's see, we talked about the swing path drill. You can also do, the drill I was talking about with, you take a second golf ball or a third golf ball for a slice or a mirror image for a hook. Same concept. You can do it with a head cover, with a water bottle, or the, you can use a head cover for the glove drill, just to stay connected right there, just to get the feel of, okay, oops, that's where I want to stop my backswing. Just that feel. In your actual swing, you might end up going just a little further. That's okay, but you just want to get a feel of staying connected. If you're a player that tends to get like overswing. I don't know why I brain farted that. If you tend to overswing and kind of, you get that club a little far past, a little John Daly-ish-esque, that's a great drill. Just put something underneath your armpit. I mentioned this before, you can't even just tuck your sleeve into your armpit, or just feel, like imagine like you're holding a glove or something into your armpit. But yeah, people like to overcomplicate the game. It's not that complicated. With a couple simple drills like that to correct path issues, a $2 driveway marker from Home Depot, probably one of the greatest training aids is just learning this, where you learn to not hit yourself with a stick, get your weight forward, because I can't hang back. So I hang back, I'm gonna hit myself. Even if I get forward, but I flip my wrist early at it, I'm gonna hit myself. It teaches you to get that nice forward shaft lean, compress the ball. We've been over this before, but I'm just trying to talk about different drills that are easy to do. You don't need fancy gadgets at all. The trick is like, the more knowledge you have about the game of golf, the simpler it is. The more simple everything becomes. You just kind of, everything becomes thoughtless. You know, coming back, I want this club parallel. I want the leading edge of this matching my spine angle. I'm gonna swing to the top. I know I want to get this pretty flat and the club face flat. I know, I want to come down, maintain my posture, keep my back foot down, have a little forward shaft lean, have this. I know I want my club head chasing down the target. I know I want to go to a nice full balanced finish. Like, all these things, there's no way to possibly think about everything while you do it. So it's just kind of, ingraining, and learning, and just soon you don't really have to think about things, you just kind of know. But a big issue, I think, is a lot of people understand, like, a slice is from coming over the top. You draw the ball by coming from the inside, but they don't necessarily understand why. They've heard that. I wish I had a ping pong ball here. Need to get some new ping pong balls because I have a ping pong table. I'll fuck you up in ping pong. Don't even try to step to my table, kid. But anyway, same concept with a ping pong paddle. Say you slice to the right. How would you make a ball if you had a ping pong ball or a tennis ball and you wanted to curve it that way? You would swing your paddle left. Your paddle would be going left, and you would put that right hand slice spin on the ball. If I wanted to spin the ball to the left, like a hook or a draw, I'm going to swing right. And you see how it's putting that spin on the ball? If I wanted to hit a floater, like almost like a stinger, like a line drive that stays in the air with a ping pong ball, you're going to cut down through it. Down. And the ball is going to, you kind of rise a little bit like that tiger's stinger would spin. If I want the ball to drop out of the sky, like with your driver, you want nice low spin, I'm going to swing up on it, which is minimizing the spin. But if you do that with your irons, you just have, your shots are like rainbows that don't go anywhere. Your wedges won't go very far. If you're swinging up on your iron, or your wedges and short irons, and really any of your irons, if you're swinging up, they're not going to go far. You want to be down, just like that floater. You want to have spin on the golf ball. Once you get to your long irons, it's a little more neutral, where, as Tiger would say, he's very zeroed out. He's not coming down, he's not swinging up, he's basically coming in real neutral, with a 5 iron, a 4 iron, a 3 iron, just kind of brushing the ball off the top of the grass with your long irons. But if you're hitting a wedge, you want to get down, get that forward, or that weight forward, pinch down on it. It's so important. I just feel like people know this stuff, but don't practice it for some reason. And I know they're physically able to. And if you can't, say you can't hit a draw, start really small. Just take a short iron and just learn to make something curve a little bit. You can't see it because this is short. I'm just making a ball like hook. I would never really play that shot on the course. That's like one of the best things, I think, to teach people to shape it, is to just hit that little chunky, but just hit these really soft shots that curve. And you're like, oh, I see. I'm manipulating the ball now. And you teach them to hit a little draw, then hit a little fade, but just swinging like 50%. And then they're able to, they understand, actually those were all out of the middle just that. Then they're able to understand like the feel. You know, they get the concepts. That's usually my first lesson when somebody's new, when I'm working with someone with golf, is I teach them more about the new laws of ball flight, and I kind of pick their brain to see what they know. Because there's no sense of, teaching someone to drop to the inside and hit the inside of the ball if they don't know why they're trying to do it. You know, you can tell them how to do it all day, but if they don't know why, what's the point? And I think that's a big issue, is you don't hear a lot about the why. But it's more the how. You know, they're kind of skipping steps. People should know why we do certain things. I'm just out here ranting. Golf. It's so easy, it's laughable. As long as you know what you're doing. It's very complicated and there's a lot to it. Think of golf like a giant, 500,000 piece puzzle, or say it's a 1,000-piece puzzle. It's definitely bigger than a 1,000-piece puzzle. But say it's a 1,000-piece puzzle. Every piece of that puzzle that gets put together, the more the big picture comes clear. So that's kind of like the puzzle being a metaphor for your knowledge of the game, and then taking that knowledge and actually applying it to the big picture. Because once you reach a point of you really actually understand everything, and you understand your own swing, and you understand how to apply it in the actual game, there's not a lot of thought to golf. It becomes very rudimentary and very simple. You're just kind of running off of your golf instinct, as I like to call it, not your normal instinct, because like I said, golf's a game of opposites. It's usually backwards from your natural instinct, but we develop this golf instinct through years and decades of playing and learning the game. And that's kind of why Tiger Woods says he blacks out. When asked about some of his most famous shots, he talks about not remembering them and basically being blacked out. He's just kind of on autopilot coming down the stretch on Sunday. He's just go, 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 running on instinct. He's in the fucking zone. He's not like, okay, let me get a nice square stance. Let me take the club back here, make sure I keep my elbow tucked. That stuff's for the range, and that's putting in the work, yes, when you think about all that stuff. But when it comes down to performing, you need to get out of your own way. And in all shots, you need to get out of your own way, but particularly with putting, I think people tend to get a little too mechanical and they get in their own way. Because golf is so much in between the ears. The better you get, the more golf is really played between the ears. Because anyone can, develop a halfway decent swing, go to a driving range and, essentially learn to hit the occasional good shot and have a swing that looks okay for Instagram. I mean, the number of people on like Instagram and YouTube where they have like a halfway okay swing and they'll show you like one shot. And it's like they're trying to give people lessons and swing tips. And some of it's true. Some of the basics are true. But what I always find funny, and I always call a lot of golf creators out on this, is they contradict themselves a lot. And they don't actually practice what they're preaching. Like, this is a famous, creators are famous for doing this. They'll be like, oh, are you doing this and slicing the ball? Then they'll show a video of them slicing the ball, and it's like, well, that's not what you did to slice the ball there. You just held the face wide open and hit a slice on purpose, but you told everyone they were coming over the top, so they were slicing it. But you didn't does that make sense? It's like they'll tell people one thing, but then not actually show it. Well, anyway. Gotta be relaxed. Nice and relaxed. Here, we got that is just letting my buddy John hit that wedge. Need to clean that. What did I do with that other wedge? Did I put it in the wrong pocket? Yeah. I think I've actually smoked less than 5 cigarettes in months. My vape's dead though, so I'm kind of desperate. This is the only cigarette I smoked today. Don't tell anyone. How long are we at here, mate? 40 minutes, a little over 40. All right, I think I'm gonna about call it there. It's getting a little long. They'll load onto YouTube quicker. I'm gonna hit some more balls and take a look at those swings and see if I want to work on anything. Per usual, keep it metal, keep grinding. If you have any questions, comments, anything at all, let me know. Peace.